Good morning. It is me, Pearl, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we're about to take a look at that balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine inside of self. Understanding that whatever state we find these energies in, we can see reflected back to us in people in our outside world, but only because they're reflecting back the energy that we are holding. And if we want to see energy shift in those around us, we have to shift some of that energy within us, and then they will start to mirror back to us. All right, I think this is the third day in a row, maybe the fourth day in a row. Divine Masculine goes first. He's really wanting to talk. All of his cards were showing today. Divine Feminine showed none of her cards. This has been a trend. All right, let us dig into this quagmire that I'm looking at, which I haven't channeled yet, so I don't know. Okay. Top of the deck, overall headspace, forefront of the mind for this divine masculine is this Prince of Swords card in reverse, which in the Cosmic Tarot deck by Norbert Loesch is the Knight of Swords, that would be similar in the OG Smith-Waite imagery. So we have a resistance to the Knight of Swords energy. And it's like a holding back of the energy because this is a swift desire to bring in this like clarity and truth, to be direct. And divine masculine is really struggling with this feeling because he really, really wants to embody this knight, but he holds himself back from doing this. He holds himself back from seeing the truth, from delivering the truth, from discovering the truth. And it makes him feel very unchivalrous. And he's very much, I feel so much resistance to this energy. He wants to embody it, but he cannot. There is something that is keeping him from being able to embody this energy, but it feels like it's something that's like against his will. There's so much, like, I just feel overwhelmed by that energy. Okay. And then the niggling thought in the back of his mind is this Four of Cups energy, which is, I'm ready to come out of the fantasy. I'm ready to come in to a place where I'm not just imagining and thinking and reflecting on the past and creating future memories out of that and then being disappointed when that doesn't happen. And I'm ready to come out of this space where I'm not so enmeshed in my feelings and emotions. Instead, I'm expressing them. Instead of like living in this dream space with them, I'm actually expressing them. But there's that thing that holds back that energy, that holds back that Prince of Swords energy, while in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I am ready to embody this. I am ready to do this. I want to be ready. There's also probably a need to be grounded, to come, maybe come into nature somewhat, to be able to be more grounded because he's been so much in this dream space and in the fantasy of what he wants, and he's not really dealing with reality, with what's actually manifesting. And it's like that card that kept coming up, which was, if we think we're stuck, but you can't actually be stuck because energy is always changing. But if you're thinking the same thoughts over and over again, then the energy is constantly changing over and over to the same things that you're thinking. And so he's wanting to come out of that space where he's created these future memories, some of which aren't even positive or happy. Some of them are like his fears about what's going to happen. And he wants to be grounded and be like, no, this is what's happening. This is reality. Be in this present moment now and not living in this dream space. So that's the battle going on. That's a lot. Okay. The first thought on his mind is this Five of Wands energy, and I feel this so strongly, is him and the divine feminine on one level. On another level, this is him grappling with himself, because of course, when we look at the balance between those two energies, we are looking at grappling with ourselves, correct? Yes, this is not about a person. You can apply it to a person, but only because that person is reflecting you back to you. Okay. So grappling with divine feminine, grappling with the self, grappling with an outside energy that is feeling like the blockage, when in fact, it's the self that is the blockage, that is presenting obstacles from outside in order to confirm limiting beliefs about the self, which is so freaking hard to truly embrace, because the truth of that is like, wait, I'm creating these outside obstacles. Yes, you are, by your thoughts that you keep continuing to think, by the limiting beliefs that you haven't gone in and dug out. Because the job of this environment is to convince you of reality. And your reality is one that you decided upon in your head. And a lot of it was decided upon for you between the ages of 0 to 7, when you didn't have any control over that. And then that became your reality. And it took a lot of different experiences to either prove or disprove the things that you learned during those years. You can deliberately disprove limiting beliefs by finding expanders that prove that the things that your family or media or whatever taught you were not actually true, and that you aren't beholden to anyone's truth but your own. You can start to practice that energy, but you are grappling with yourself. Okay. This divine masculine is thinking about this battle. He's thinking about the impasse, the feeling of stuck energy, because he can't stop thinking these same thoughts, right? He's ready to come out of that space where he's been thinking the same things again and again, because he's realizing that they are stuck in this impasse where neither one of them can move out. They can't move away from each other. They can't let go of each other. They can't move towards each other. It's the most frustrating feeling I'm getting from him right now. And it is really blocking the happiness that he feels. This card cannot be here. This is the sun. It cannot be here unless it is present in the headspace or the heart space. So there is happiness in his headspace. There are things that he's extremely happy about. And the impasse energy where he can't express that, where he can't go towards his happiness, where he can't find a way to bring illumination to what makes him happy, because he wants to be able to show, he wants to be able to have this light pour in and show exactly what it is that makes him feel good, makes him feel happy. And that is that union with the divine feminine inside of himself. Right? But it's blocked. It's blocked by the stuck energy of his headspace, of the thinking of the same thoughts, the refusing to see that truth, to be direct and clear with the self. We have this Two of Swords energy here. This is the standstill, and we've been in the standstill for a minute now. It's coming up all the time in headspace and heart space, all over the spread. To the left, to the right, it's everywhere. Here, the Two of Swords, which is being unwilling to make a choice. Being unwilling to make a choice because you don't want to make it, because it's a choice you don't want to have to make. You want something to happen to you before the choice has to be made. You want it to be a good thing. You want it to be what you want to happen, but you would honestly even accept shit at this point just so you don't have to make the choice, right? This divine masculine has been resisting the choice that he wants to make, that he does not want to make. But he has moved out of this. This is hard. He's moved out of this energy and he's making his choice. And it's this ending. It's painful. It's a painful one. Now, you can interpret this in a lot of ways. It can be ending the painful separation. And I think that actually might be what it is. That is the feeling that I have. But it could also be a painful ending between the two of them, choosing to go into separation at this time. Either way, and I'm going to read it both ways because it really does have both potentials, because it is this choice, right? He has made a choice, but we don't know what choice he's made. But this is what he's choosing between. To end the separation, the painful separation between them. To put down the burden of this separation and communicate his feelings and stop resisting this Knight of Swords energy and come in with clarity and directness. Now, that would be a wonderful version of this choice, because the other choice is to bring painful separation and put down the burden of the reunion, put down the burden of being together. And this is what he's resisting looking at in his headspace. This is what he doesn't want to see. This is the truth that he doesn't want to look at. That's another interpretation. And it kind of rests on this final card. The final card in the headspace, remember, this is his head, not his heart. This is what he's thinking. The final card in his headspace is the Princess of Swords, which represents page energy in the Cosmic Tarot. And it's reverse. So this also has the potential for being the divine masculine, unwilling to pick up that sword and do something new and do something different and choose a new direction. And if that's the case, then what we're seeing is divine masculine is choosing the pain of separation and to put down the burden of this reunion and not be able to wield this truth, this new idea, not be able to participate with divine feminine in a physical manifestation and to choose to go into separation. The other potential meaning of this is that he is afraid to pick up this sword and be honest with himself about what he must do. Either that he must leave and stop holding divine feminine in his thrall, but let her go so that she can go on and find happiness with other individuals, or end this painful separation and go towards divine feminine. That's the choice that he has to make. And that's what he's afraid of looking at. He's afraid of seeing. He's resisting, but he is ready because he knows he has to break this impasse, because he will never feel happy if he doesn't make this choice to either end the painful separation or go into complete separation and allow divine feminine to move on. Whew. Okay, let's look at the heart space. We'll need a drink to finish this reading. Okay, top of the deck. Overall feeling of the heart space is the Ten of Wands, but we are looking at the very lovely vice versa tarot. And so we get to see the Ten of Wands in one of two ways. We could have seen it this way, where we see him doing this toiling, this burden. There's this property behind him. There's like definitely material world associations with that. Or we see him walking away from this history, from this past version of himself, a crumbling statue, a crumbling, rigid structure that didn't serve him any longer. And he's leaving that ancient history of himself behind. And he's ready to put down the burden of that history and no longer carry those wounds that have been holding him back. So he's ready in his heart space to put down this burden as well. The niggling feeling in his heart space is this Eight of Pentacles energy. And this is about him feeling, so he's resisting working on himself and has instead been focused on the material. And he's understanding that this burden that he's been carrying of this past has been blocked by his focus on this material world stuff and not working on healing this inner child. So his heart space is feeling like he has to stop focusing on like the career, the finances, the material things, work, and instead focus on healing that inner child so that he can put down this burden, because he's basically carrying this heavy, broken down, deteriorating, rigid statue of limiting beliefs that came from the wounds of that inner child. And it's time to put it down and walk away from it, because it is blocking his happiness, which he's fully aware of in his headspace. Wow, okay. I was honestly, that headspace was really making me freak out, but the heart space is kind of like putting some wind back in my ego sails, okay? King of Wands. This is a man of action, okay? He's taking action. He is going to break this impasse with this communication. And it is going to be a communication that is about his passion and his ardor and his vision for what he wants. This is the man of action that we've been wanting to see. And his heart is feeling that he is ready to do this and be the one that breaks the impasse by communicating this new beginning. The Fool's Journey. Not being cautious, not being overly cautious, but really heading in that fool's energy towards this happiness, no longer allowing it to be blocked by that impasse, but bringing light to this happiness. He wants to be able to share this with others and express how he feels and finally communicate this new beginning with this divine feminine. Jesus. 6 of Swords. We have the 6 of Swords, and we're seeing this in the imagery from vice versa, where they're coming out of this cave. So there's that potential for persecution because of expression, but they are leaving behind the past and they are heading towards this new shore, that new beginning. And he's trying not to be afraid that he doesn't know exactly where they are going to go, but he is with the divine feminine in this boat. This is not, we could have gotten the 6 of Swords in a different imagery that doesn't have this traditional image, but this one does. And this divine feminine is protecting this cup of self-love. It's like she is basically holding the space for this love and for this emotion and navigating so that divine masculine can bury them to sanctuary. And this is why he's wanting to make this decision, because he is really wanting to bring them home. He's wanting to take them out of that darkness and bring them into the light of that sun. And then, holy shit, it's the 5 of Wands from the vice versa deck. It is clarifying this 10 of Swords. And it is also directly clarifying the 5 of Wands above it. And the 5 of Wands above it is those 2 individuals grappling, right? They're at that impasse. And then the King of Wands comes in and takes action. And this final fiery climax can be achieved between the 2 of them, because we could have seen this chill version that's more like the other, where the action is really in between these 2 individuals. But here we see that this 5 of Wands energy is about to bust wide open, and it's pretty destructive, and it will cause pain. And it could be pain of separation, but it's really, to me, about, based on the Fool and the 6 of Swords, there does seem to be an element here that this divine masculine is ending the painful separation, but this is going to be a destructive element for them. It will bring about some kind of tower to a certain extent. And there is something to do also with the third party that is functioning to keep them in the impasse. It will cause an eruption from that third party. And then we have this 10 of Wands, clarified by the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And we could have gotten this image like this, which is about the abundance that offer is about. And it's about dreaming it up and what it constitutes. Or this version, which is it's here and it's coming to the streets. And this is in its reverse. So we have a divine masculine who is not able to bring this offer because of this impasse, because of the painful ending that it will cause. He wants to make that new beginning. He wants to be able to ferry this relationship to sanctuary, but it will cause some massive destructive force. And so it is delaying the ability to be able to put down that burden and offer this real world offer to divine feminine. And then we have fucking A, the Knight of Swords in reverse. So we have that union already from his head space and his heart space. And that is what's clarifying this page. He doesn't want to be honest with himself. And the final card we have is Temperance. And it is also in reverse. And what we're looking at in reverse is this protected energy of the twins that are protected by this divine energy. Here is that archangel energy doing the balancing, pouring back and forth. And this is the overfeeling that's going on for divine masculine. There's no one here surrendered. The one who surrendered here is not there. He's left. And we have this angel protecting this two energies, the freedom and strength that is in this union, protecting them at this time and doing this healing. And he is understanding, well, there's two things going on. He's resisting the truth. He's resisting knowing that this explosion will cause this pain. He doesn't want to cause pain. That is why he can't make the choice. That is why he's been at the standstill. He doesn't want to cause pain to divine feminine. He doesn't want to cause pain to third party energy. It could be family, children, ex-partners, whatever. He doesn't want to cause pain. So he's avoiding the truth. He's avoiding bringing the truth to divine feminine. He's avoiding bringing the truth to the third party energy. And he's feeling like this union, it's hard for him to believe that it's protected, because he's feeling like, how can it be protected if my choice is going to cause an incredible amount of pain no matter which direction that I go? He's having a really hard time trusting. That is what we're looking at. That is why he is stuck. Okay. Divine Feminine, let's look at what you are thinking about. And you didn't show me any of your cards, so I'm interested. You are overthinking and I think overfeeling. So, wow, this looks so fun to read. I knew I should have had breakfast first. Okay. Top of the deck, overall headspace for Divine Feminine is the Nine of Swords from the Fountain Tarot. So, sleepless nights, overthinking, self-sabotage. We saw this card yesterday, but it's in its reversal today. So, the Divine Feminine has moved to the front of her mind, her attention to releasing any type of Nine of Swords energy. So, if she's having thoughts of like, what if this, what if that, what if this, what if that? She's like, you are not welcome. You are not allowed. Go away. Drop it. Walk away. Put it down and walk away. So she's really doing a good job of policing the policing that is going on in her brain, the overthinking. It might also just be not necessarily that she's doing a good job, but that she's having to do this job also. It might not be like, oh, you're doing a great job. It might be like, no, I have to do this. I have to be on guard 24/7, from these fears that are assaulting me left and right, from my anxieties, from my worries, from overthinking. I'm really having to work hard to release this energy. It's very difficult. The niggling feeling in the back of her mind is the Three of Cups in reverse. So this is someone who is not about celebrating right now. There's nothing to celebrate. There's been a block here in being able to really enjoy herself. She's feeling a lot. This is a lot. This is a big burden here. There's a third party energy she's worried about. She's kind of convinced herself that that third party is the thing that's come between her and her happiness, her and her king, and it's that third party energy's fault. There's some element there of like, if it weren't for this, then everything would be fine. But that's really not true. The third party energy is an obstacle that is just helping to make your reality that you're thinking about true, which is very hard to truly embrace and face. Like, that's why we don't like to look at that truth about ourselves, right? But it's there. And so Divine Feminine is kind of in the back of her mind working on releasing this focus on outside energy, because outside energy is causing outside worries to come in and really bother her and keep her up and make her feel bad about herself. She's worried what other people are thinking, her family, maybe Divine Masculine's family. There's a fixation there, and it's just like niggling in the back of her mind. First thing on her mind is the King of Swords. Now, this is a king who is in his integrity. He is communicating potentially, although what he's communicating might not be what you want to hear. He is trying not to violate any kind of boundaries. He's trying to respect boundaries. But he's cold and he's icy and he's aloof and he's in his head, keeps to himself and isn't really expressing much to you. He also might be even being kind of cruel. He could be a little bit reckless and thoughtless about how he's going about his communication or lack of communication. There's some kind of a cruelty here that I'm feeling too from this today. So he's the first thing on her mind. And the fact that he's moved into this really cold, icy energy that doesn't feel warm at all, that doesn't feel loving, and that doesn't feel like it's wanting to really work with you. It's like he wants to do his own thing and control his own thing, and it's really not about you. There's not a collaborative energy here. And the pesky Tower, this pesky card that has been in its reverse for us for a couple of days for the Divine Feminine, and it's still in its reverse, which is I can't rebuild it. I can't. There's nothing I can do to rebuild it. It's also I'm resisting releasing this grotesquerie that this tower has become. It was a solid foundation, and then decadence and, like lack of any kind of diligence in overseeing how things were playing out, just sort of like no intentional things going on. Now that tower needs to crumble because it's grotesque. Like it's out of control. It's like extreme capitalism. What the hell? It serves no purpose. It's not even good for anyone. Not a single one of us is benefiting. And it's got to go. It's got to come down. It's got to crumble. But Divine Feminine has been resisting that. She's been resisting the feeling that she can't rebuild this tower. You can't rebuild a tower with someone who won't speak to you. I've been in this situation many times in my life where I have wanted to rebuild a tower with someone who is completely silent, and you can't do it. And she's not wanting to have to release this King of Swords, even though this is what he's looking like at this point. Grotesque. Like, not even anything that we can contemplate allowing to exist in our lives anymore. And here's the world. And this world in the fountain deck, she's chilling there on top of this sphere. All the colors are here. There's a soothing energy in this card that's unlike a lot of other images of the world, which show a lot of chaos and all of these different, mixing elements. But this is like a divine feminine who's understanding that the cycle that she's been in with this King of Swords and the inability to rebuild the tower, it has come to its completion. The songs today, which I am now called to mention, the last song that came on, the third song, was Never Going Back Again. And that's a Fleetwood Mac, and it was an acoustic duet. And it's, I'm never going back again. I've been down one time, I've been down 2 times, and I'm never going back again. You don't know what it means to win? Come down and see me again. But I'm never going back again. So we have a divine feminine who feels a certain amount of completion here in this energy. She's like, okay, if you're going to be the King of Swords and I can't rebuild this tower with you, then I'm out, bro. Her song during her shuffle after the Never Going Back Again was for both of them, but her song was Trouble Blues, sung by Sam Cooke. So many days since you went away, I often think of you night and day, but I know that someday, darling, I won't be trouble no more. Trouble and misery. It's about to get the best of me, but I know that someday, darling, I won't be trouble no more. I told you my story. I sang my song about you leaving, baby. You know that's wrong, but someday I won't be trouble no more. So the divine feminine, she's feeling a feeling of over, done, complete in myself. I'm complete here, and I'm complete in myself. And here's Judgment. I think of the horses of the apocalypse when I see this image. It's strange because I don't even know why I see that. It's not a horse. It's like these veils and these figures. But it's like judgment is here. It's clarifying the King of Swords, which is one of the reasons why I was feeling some cruelty coming from this king. Like he was being critical, judgmental, a bit harsh, or making divine feminine feel like she needs to be critical, judgmental, or harsh because of how cold he is, how icy he is. Judgment, of course, brings salvation, but there's definitely judgment here that is harsh. Divine Masculine's song today was Save Me. It started off by Queen. It started off so well. They said we made a perfect pair. I clothed myself in your glory and your love, how I loved you, how I cried. The years of care and loyalty were nothing but a sham, it seems. The years belie, we lived a lie. I'll love you till I die. Save me, save me. I can't face this life alone. I'm naked and I'm far from home. The slate will soon be clean. I'll erase the memories to start again with somebody new. Was it all wasted, all that love? I hang my head and I advertise a soul for sale or rent. I have no heart, I'm cold inside. I have no real intent. Save me, I can't face this life alone. I'm naked and I'm far from home. Each night I cry, I still believe the lie. I love you till I die. Save me, don't let me face my life alone. So, save me. Here's the salvation. This is a heavy, heavy reading, folks. I didn't know that was coming. So, divine feminine, she's done. The world is here. The cycle is complete. She is no longer going to try to rebuild the tower with this King of Swords. The judgment is here, and in that judgment comes salvation, which is allowing her to let go. This is the 4 of coins. In the fountain deck, we're seeing this interesting tent in a snowy field with 4 coins there. And I love this image because how useless would those 4 coins be? If you lived in the North Country of upstate New York, like I did, and you were in a wintry storm and you had this tent, those 4 gold coins would be utterly useless to you. It's cold as fuck. You don't give a shit about metal coins in this situation. So I think it's a really interesting image. This 4 of coins is about having built a foundation, having a foundation. But what good does this foundation serve you in this situation? You're out in the cold. You're alone. With what? And so you are releasing and letting go and completing the cycle with this King of Swords, because you can't rebuild this tower with those 4 coins in that snowstorm. Not happening. You can't do it. So you're letting it go. You're putting it down and you're walking away. And this 10 of Wands has been in your headspace for days, and it has been in the same reversed position because you are resisting letting go, because you feel powerless. Here's the Magician. You feel powerless to these cycles that you are in with this divine masculine. So you are resisting putting it down. You're feeling powerless. You're feeling like it's too hard. It's too difficult to let go, even though this makes no sense. Those pentacles cannot keep you warm in that tent. They can't. There's nothing you can't rub them together and get a spark even. You're screwed. But you are resisting, Divine Feminine, and you are feeling powerless, and you are not using the tools that you have to help you, to aid you in putting down this Divine Masculine energy and raising up your own Divine Masculine worth energy. Now look at where we are. We haven't even gotten to the heart space yet. We're about to start it. But before we even get there, I can tell you by this headspace that you and Divine Masculine are in the impasse that Divine Masculine was feeling from that 5 of Wands, because he doesn't want to be honest with himself and either end the separation or end the relationship so that you can let go. And you don't want to be honest with yourself and complete the cycle that you have with this person who cannot make a choice like that for you, and put that burden of that Divine Masculine down and move on. You're both at the impasse. You can't move on from somebody who can't do what he needs to do to be able to help you move on. Okay, let's get guidance from your intuition, because you need it. You need it. Okay. The top of the deck, overall state heart space for this Divine Feminine is this 6 of Swords in its reversal. So here's Divine Masculine really wanting to ferry this relationship to sanctuary, really wanting to help Divine Feminine out, really needing her to hold on to that cup, that emotional spectrum for him, and help him navigate the strife and the struggle that he's gone through so that they can get to that paradise. And Divine Feminine is feeling like she really doesn't need that. She really doesn't need the Divine Masculine to do that. She can do that for herself, and she must do it for herself. Right now, she is resisting the lessons that these swords provide. The lessons are a bridge between where you were and where you want to be. They were the pain, they were the hard lessons, they were the things that you experienced that help you to navigate from here to there. Okay? You're resisting those lessons. But your heart space knows that once you have fully learned these lessons, that will let you drop this burden of this King of Swords. The niggling feeling in your heart space will finally be brought to the forefront, because the niggling feeling is, my spiritual fulfillment is here. I am spiritually fulfilled in myself. I can provide everything I need for myself. I can bask in these emotions and feelings and opportunities and experiences and and feel happiness no matter what state, no matter where I am. I can be in a place where I'm resisting this happiness in my headspace, in the back of my mind, but it'll still be there. My spiritual fulfillment is still be here. I might not be with this King of Swords because he's refusing to take action and speak and communicate, but yet I'm still experiencing spiritual fulfillment. I may be having trouble letting go of this divine masculine, and yet my heart is still spiritually fulfilled. Nothing can shake this from your heart space. You know that you are fulfilled by your relationship in yourself. That when you are the world to yourself, someone else will value you this way, but only then. And that is spiritual fulfillment because you know this. The Seven of Swords in reverse, surprise, surprise, clarifying a silent king. Your heart must have the secrets, the lies, the deceit, the cleverness, the strategy. It must be revealed. This icy aloofness, this refusal to tell the strategy that is going on, your heart is not accepting that anymore. This King of Swords must reveal his truth. Eight of Pentacles in reverse, just like Divine Masculine, that was his niggling feeling. You are not focused on your own craft and your own work, and that is what is preventing you from rebuilding this tower. The tower has crumbled. It has already crumbled. It didn't come up right, as in, oh, there's a tower moment coming. It's going to happen. It's about to happen. It just happened. No, this has already happened. You have already experienced this tower moment. The inability to rebuild it has to do with the fact that you are still refusing to work on yourself to a certain extent. You are focusing on the material manifestation instead of what it takes to rebuild the tower. What does it take to rebuild the tower? It takes spiritual fulfillment, working on the self, working on coming into that completion in that world energy, ending those painful cycles, believing in your own abundance, believing in your capability to create through your craft the foundation that you are seeking. That foundation will not and cannot come from an external divine masculine. It can only come from your internal divine masculine. What cycle is completed? What has come to an end, to a close? The Emperor. The Emperor. You want to end these cycles, these negative cycles that are plaguing you, this stuck energy that you feel because you won't put down this Emperor. You want to end that. You want to put it down and walk away. This is your deepest desire. To have salvation from being attached, being stuck and bound. You know, when people are born again and born again belief system, they feel this immediate relief because all of their sins have been forgiven, they've been washed away by the blood of the Lamb, and they are immersed in that energy of being new, being like new, being the fool, and being cleansed, being like just completely clean and whole again. That is what you want. You want to have a new beginning, a new communication from an emperor with which you've completed these cycles so that you're no longer in this back and forth energy. Someone who is healed, someone who is in command, someone who is not rigid and controlling. And you are also wanting to release that energy on your own as well. But this is your deepest desire, your heart's desire. And there's the Six of Cups, the reunion, the generosity, the benevolence, reciprocation of love, the expression of emotions. This is what you are trying to let go of. You are trying to let go of the need for this reunion to happen. It is your heart's deepest desire to reunite with this emperor. But you are needing still to unveil, you are needing to reveal secrets and truths to yourself. Remember, you listened to this reading and you heard the divine masculine side and you thought that that was about the person, no matter what their gender is, that you are associating with the divine masculine energy. But the jig is up. It is about you. It is about you. It is about you not wanting to be honest with yourself. It is about you not wanting to make the choice of either bringing about this painful separation and ending this situation with an emperor who doesn't sit in his light traits, who's cold, icy, aloof, controlling, dictatorial, does not speak to you, does not communicate, is not open, or ending a painful separation with that person by making some kind of a drastic communication and taking action, but you feel blocked by doing that, by this Five of Wands. You feel blocked by doing that because you are afraid to look at the truth, which is that you are not being honest with yourself. You're waiting for a divine masculine to tell you how good you are. You already know. You're waiting for a divine masculine to tell you that it's okay for you to need to be loved. You already know that. You don't need an external person to tell you what you already know. So you are resisting being honest with yourself. You are resisting that because you are afraid that the work that you want to do in the world will not provide you with the solid foundation that the emperor has. But it will. But you're afraid that you are not able to rebuild this foundation, but you can. And so for as long as you are in this place where this reunion is paramount, you are still in a place where you think that you must be physically united with somebody in order to be capable. And it's not true. This is a limiting belief. This is limiting you. This is holding you back. Once you reveal these truths to yourself, once you trust in the work that you do in this world and how important it is, and that you are able to provide happiness and abundance and sanctuary to yourself, you can have this reunion, but not until then. And finally, the burden that you want to put down, the thing that you feel powerless to, it's the Two of Wands. It's the twin flame union. Now, my job is to look at the twin flame union every day. So for me to tell you right now, it's time for you to put down this burden and stop watching these readings doesn't benefit me much. But if you are having trouble putting down this particular divine masculine, it is because you have convinced yourself that this is about the twin flame journey. And your heart is letting you know that this twin flame journey exists, whether you know who that physical masculine or feminine is or not. You're on the journey, whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter what you want, is what the Archangel Raphael told me when I was 19. It doesn't matter what you want. Okay, rude. It doesn't. It doesn't matter what you want. You're on a twin flame journey. Right now on that journey, you are being called to use all the tools that you have learned in this journey into your magic power that you have, because you are magic. You are being told to use the tools from this power that you have to put down the burden of this King of Swords. Put it down. Trust in the twin flame journey. that is what you are meant to do right now. Ugh. My ego doesn't want to finish. Good thing it's not running the show today. Okay, let's look at the oracles for divine masculine. Y'all got a bunch of Moonology cards today. If you own the Moonology deck, take note of what cards come up today and go read them in the book to get deeper readings, because this deck has been really persistent the last 2 days. So there might be more messages that I don't have time to like read through the book for all of them, because y'all are getting 8 cards. Like, so if you have a Moonology deck, do a little more research when you see the cards today. My advice to you. Okay, divine masculine. Let's go look at your oracles and see what is the what for you. I just punched your archetype. You're in the shadow attributes of the beggar, which is dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. So you are begging. You are begging the divine feminine to save you right now, to bring you out of the cold. You need to come into the light. You need to confront empowerment at the level of physical survival and awaken the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. You must come into your own self-esteem, your own, that you find yourself without validation from an external source, but just from going within. You do not need to beg divine feminine for her love. She already loves you. You have to only accept your own love for yourself so that you can feel the love that comes from her instead of doubting it. Saint Joan of Arc is here. Now, she's a big saint, and she is here to help you know that you are a leader. She commanded armies as a female because God told her to. And people believed her and followed her. She was crazy. Like, clearly, to anybody who had come before her, they were like, that bitch is crazy. But she did it. She led those armies. She helped. I don't even know my history about it. Don't know. Can't remember any of the details right now. But I know that what she did was helpful to who she was supposed to help. But she did something extraordinary, was not a likely candidate to do that thing, but did it anyway. That's the type of saint who's with you right now. Somebody who can help you believe that you are a leader, that you can take a lead in this battle against this third-party energy that you have put up in front of you. I almost don't even want to read this one to you, because it's just, I feel bad for you right now. Why is it taking me so long? The only reason you have not already received what you desire is because you are holding yourself in a vibrational pattern that does not match the vibration of your desire. That's the only reason. And I know when I read that to you, you just want to reach through the screen and just punch me right in the kisser, because that is so frustrating to know that the only reason that you haven't received what you desire is because you are holding yourself in a vibrational pattern that doesn't match what you desire. Ah, it's so painful to read that to you. Okay. Divine masculine. This is up again for you. Hold your vision. This is a visionary leader. This was a very positive shining light in all your spread today, because your spread was tough. And this and the Fool and the Six of Swords were such a really powerful, exciting thing to see. So hold the vision the way that this King of Wands holds his vision. The end of a tough cycle approaches, and it was in its reversal. And to me, that is the end of this tough cycle is here. We are seeing this volcano is about to break up this little like hurrah right here. because these bitches have got to run. This is going to start coming down the side, and there's nothing they can do. They need to leave. They can't. It is here. It is happening. It is destroyed. So this tough cycle that you've been in with this divine feminine, that's that world card energy. Full moon in Capricorn. I told you, we're here. We're in it. It's now. Tough cycle. Done. This is a tough one. This is the void of course moon. And thanks to one of my sisters in my coven, I learned that this is when there's nothing particularly influencing the situation in either direction. And this card says nothing will come of this situation. So there is nothing right now that is influencing this to go in one direction or another. You don't have to worry that there's going to be something bad that's going to block you. But it's also just sort of like not auspicious either. We're like in this weird little in-between moment. Nothing is really influencing this either way. And this is back. Expect powerful change. When you make that decision, which you are ready to make, based on your Two of Swords in reverse, either to end things with divine feminine for good and let her go find someone else, or to end the separation between the two of you, this will be a powerful change. Now, this is a command. You had the Four of Cups as your niggling feeling in the back of your mind. And you have get grounded from the Work Your Light deck, which is exactly the same thing. Get grounded, empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. And that was something I was feeling from that card. You are ready, but you need to get grounded. You need to come out of the head of the dream space and really be grounded here on earth in the practical. You are also getting the protection message of Eagle Spirit. Spirit has your back. If you are walking awkwardly and feeling embarrassed, Eagle Spirit is here to tell you that is only because right now you are meant to fly. Soar over the troubles that have you feeling scared and alone. See the big picture, yet retain your eagle eye for the details that help you claim your wisdom and courage. Or perhaps you are making yourself small for the sake of getting others to accept you. Now is not the time to be vulnerable and dependent, for you have the wings to fly on your own, and you need to do that at this time. There is no need to huddle in a shelter or even to seek out a flock to support you. For Eagle Spirit says you have tremendous wisdom and courage within. Let it arise so that you might soar proudly with the angels serving as the wind beneath your wings. From these heights, you can make the best and most powerful choices for the highest good of all. All right, Divine Masculine, that seems like a pretty clear message. You're keeping yourself small. But now is not the time to be vulnerable and dependent. You are free. You don't have to hide away. You don't have to seek others that support you. You have enough wisdom and courage. So let it arise. Let it shift the energy, because remember, if we shift the energy of these three cards, if you become brave enough to be truthful, be honest with yourself and Divine Feminine, you can charge forward swiftly towards her and be in this temperance energy where this reunion is safe and protected. You have the power to do that, Divine Masculine. All right, Divine Feminine. You are in the light attributes of the Samaritan, which is refining your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore, and releasing the shadow, which is exacting appreciation and recognition for the help that you offer. So you're being a good Samaritan right now. You would prefer to ignore the Divine Masculine's need for time, space, healing, whatever. But you're being a good Samaritan, and you are giving him that space that he needs to do what it is he needs to do, and realizing that you actually, in so doing, are giving yourself the space that you need to heal the wounds that are in you. You would rather ignore yourself. You would rather ignore the needs that you have. You would rather just kind of, blame it on, oh, I'm lazy or this or that or whatever, but you are not. you are being a good Samaritan and you are helping yourself and you are helping divine masculine even in this difficult time. There's a siren here to announce the presence of Christ and a miracle. If you need a miracle, if you felt you need a miracle, start to expect that miracle to appear. Now, remember, the thing about miracles is you can expect a miracle, but you can expect the unexpected because it will not fall into place the way that you think it will. That is what makes miracles so miraculous, right? But Christ is here with you during this time, bringing you this miracle. And he's holding the world, helping you end that cycle, right? Wouldn't it be a miracle if you didn't feel bound to this twin flame journey and powerless to it? If you could really take your own power into your hands and be in your own emperor energy. My emotional set points can be changed. Your set points are achieved by attention to a subject. We want you to understand the extreme value in deliberately achieving your own set points. Because once you expect something, it will come. The details of it may play out differently, but the vibrational essence will be an exact match. Didn't I just say that about miracles? You expect a miracle and it will come, but the details of it may play out differently. But the vibrational essence will be an exact match. Powerful, powerful to combine the power of those two cards. All right, divine feminine, girl. Your moonology is out of control. The answers you need are coming. There's the Gemini. There's that twin energy. The answers that you need about the twin flame journey, they're coming. Can you wait for them? Because they're coming. A personal issue reaches resolution. And the blue moon, believe in the impossible. Believe in miracles. Believe in the impossible, because the impossible is happening. This is a time for healing. And a win-win outcast is coming. Win-win. You both win. If you freaked out about painful separation and didn't feel like a win, keep in mind that that miracle you don't know the details of, right? But both of you are going to come out for the best. There will be balance. There's that Libra energy, the balance, the scales will be balanced, and both of you are going to win. Trust in this transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level and deep healing. That time for healing energy being emphasized. We are also getting the Deer Spirit from the Colette Baron Reed Spirit Animal Oracle that I'm learning. And it is bring a gentle touch. And there is it's the protection message of this card. So Deer Spirit is bringing you a gentle warning that now is not the time to engage in an argument, no matter how volatile others are being. Do not match their intensity with your own. If you are dealing with an overly assertive person, step back and disengage, lest you agree to something out of alignment with your intentions. Don't let anyone bully you into anything you're uncomfortable with. You have solid footing if you stand your ground with grace. Those who disagree will begin to find their own gentleness and willingness to compromise. Dear Spirit also brings the message that it might be easy to offend someone today, or take offense because someone lacks diplomacy. Let all of that pass. You are not meant to take this world personally. While it's a beautiful gift to be sensitive, today you need a tougher hide so that any compromises you make allow you to maintain your integrity. So, if you get some bad news from a divine masculine who has decided to go into separation, do not take this personally. Let all of those feelings pass. Just have a tough hide and don't burn any bridges in this moment. You have solid footing if you stand your ground with grace. So be graceful in how you receive information today. Okay. Finally, for the couple, the bottom of the deck for the union, you are in the light attributes of the seeker, which is your thirst for wisdom and truth wherever you are. So you are no longer in the shadow, which is an inability to commit to a path once found. You are both committed to seeking the truth from this place where you are, even if it feels scary to look inside and see the truth staring at you, that you block your own happiness, that you block your success, that you block your physical union. Even if that's scary, you're so thirsty for that wisdom and truth that you're seeking them out, even if it means separation. Your guardian angel is here to support you in receiving this reward. There is a reward here that's going to be received. The person who is seeking will find, right? The reward for that thirst for wisdom and truth is peace. So your guardian angel is supporting you in this, receiving this peace. This is emphasized. My slightest improvement is of such great value. There is tremendous value when you are able to deliberately cause even the slightest improvement in the way you feel. For even in that small emotional improvement, you may have regained a measure of control. You no longer feel powerless, and so your trek back up the emotional scale is now not only possible, but it is relatively easy. So, this was a heavy, heavy reading. There are some of us today that are in the pain of a renewed separation, or in the pain of understanding our role that we've played in our continued separation, or in the pain of having to let go of a divine masculine energy or divine feminine energy for good and allowing them to grow and move on. That is a heavy, heavy energy to be in. But even if you can have the slightest improvement in your feelings, in your thoughts about the situation, you will start to feel increasingly better. Even if it just makes you feel slightly better, to know that if you feel slightly better, you'll feel better. The slightest improvement is of such great value. It doesn't take much to tip the scales in your favor. Prosperity lies ahead. Trust this card. It is always here for one or the both of you. Prosperity is coming to you. When you can accomplish this, the crumbling, what are you clinging to? There is something that you are still clinging to, and we know what it is if we really look at the reading. Divine masculine is clinging to his fears about being honest with himself, about what he can provide to the divine feminine, whether he is depleted and he cannot provide for her at this time and he must send her on her way, or whether he has finally admitting to himself that he does have what it takes to be able to provide for her. Either way, he is resisting seeing that truth. He is holding on to the limiting beliefs about himself. Divine feminine, you are holding on to the limiting beliefs about who your twin is, your attachment to a specific person, and then putting your value and worth in that person instead of in yourself. You're needing to release that. Release the power that this twin flame journey has over you. Understand that the journey is about finding out that this is about you, not about the twin. It's about you. You're also getting the protection message from Grasshopper Spirit today, which is take a leap of faith. Is it hard for you to trust in good fortune because you have been hurt in the past when you took a risk, divine couple? Staying earthbound does not offer the safety you seek, for that can be found only through trusting that Spirit is always with you and wants the best for you. Your intuition is guidance from Spirit, telling you to let go of your fears and leap into the abundance and good fortune awaiting you. Grasshopper Spirit reminds you that the only way now is to jump forward. Can you be willing to trust the unknown? the great mystery that you can't fully understand. Even if you take the teeniest leap in consciousness to be willing, it is a beautiful beginning. The smallest, what is it? The smallest, the slightest improvement is of such great value. Even if you take the teeniest leap in consciousness. I took the teeniest leap in the last couple of weeks and was like, I don't need the specific divine masculine. I can do everything I need to do for myself. So I'm going to go back to Massachusetts and get a band van and a dog and live in an affordable area in nature and have the life that I would like to have right now instead of waiting to be good enough to be in this physical union with this person who cannot come towards me, right? That was a tiny leap away. I still have all this crumbling to go through, all this clinging that I'm working on, but it was a tiny step and it improved my mental state instantly. As soon as I was like, oh, I'm gonna be happy no matter what. Like, what was I thinking? Oh, I'm gonna be alone forever. Like, no one's gonna. Are you kidding? I'm hot. I'm beautiful. I'm like an incredibly cool person. I have so many opportunities, so many chances to attract somebody whose attention will not feel this bad. And then that started to have momentum, and I started to feel less attached to the idea of this one specific person who, because I'm attached to him, can't come towards me, right? It's me. It's me. And then him just mirroring me. So take the tiniest leap in consciousness to be willing to trust in the unknown, to trust that you are going to be able to have this spiritual fulfillment, this niggling feeling inside of you. Sure, every leap forward brings a new challenge, but you can handle it with spirit as your partner, trusting that this new experience will only deepen your life with magic and meaning. Take the leap. Divine Masculine, you are ready for that too. There's that leap, and where were you willing to go? Into the unknown, so that your happiness can be unblocked. So you're there. You are here, Divine Masculine. This is your energy, this grasshopper spirit. Take that leap of faith. I will close the reading out with our goddess for the day. This is Valkyrie. The bird goddess is one of the most ancient goddesses, both a life-giving creator and a goddess of death and regeneration. The Valkyrie, a Northern European goddess, is a representation of this goddess as death wielder. The bird guise of the Valkyrie is that of the raven, long associated with death and magic. The name Valkyrie means chooser of the slain. The face and form of the Valkyrie are the last thing a person sees before death. Valkyries are psychopomps who lead the soul to the afterworld. For ancient people, death was part of a cyclical process leading again to rebirth. Black was a positive color, a symbol of fertility and abundance. The Valkyrie represents that part of us that is unafraid of the dark places. She can lead us into and through them. She reminds us that seeds germinate in the darkness, that sometimes we need darkness in order to grow. A succinct way to end this beautiful, challenging, difficult reading. Hey, I hope everyone has a good day today. I can see there are people in the collective that are definitely going through it and might be going through it some more, depending on how this communication from this divine masculine aspect of self plays out and this action plays out. But I see strength. I see the power of the emperor. I see the power of healing and temperance. I see the unwillingness to face truth, but the knowledge and the truth being there and understanding what it's going to take to be able to move forward. So I see good things, even though I see a lot of hurt and a lot of suffering and a lot of releasing that needs to be done, a lot of unblocking that needs to take place. If you need any support in this journey, tunedintarot@gmail.com. Hit me up. We will get you sorted. And also, if you really need help with unblocking, I highly recommend Lacey Phillips' howtobemagnetic.com. She has, I think it's for like $20 a month or less than that even. You have access to this full group of modules that really help to take you through the places in your life where you picked up these limiting beliefs, face them, reframe them, journal, be very honest with yourself. It's difficult. It causes you to become very magnetic and manifest a lot of things. I can attest to that. I've been working on it since I started this account, and a lot of things have come into my life that I can directly associate with unblocking some of the things that I have been going through. So I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And if you're going to do it, do not do it a little bit. Don't scratch the surface only. Go deeply into it. Follow the program in the order she recommends. There's down at the bottom, there's something called like the authentic roadmap. Start with that. That takes you through this place where you do these 7 days of meditations where you confront your authentic self, and then you get information about the things you need to unblock, and then you can take that through unblocked inner child, unblocked shadow. Start there and then go to like unblocked love or unblocked money, because it really helps to have a sense of, it takes a little bit of time to get used to how it works. You're going to have to go through modules more than one time. And it's hard. It's very hard. If you can do it with a buddy, that's great. If you start doing it and you want to compare notes with my experiences, again, tunedintarot@gmail.com. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about my experiences and go back to my old modules and be like, oh yeah, I discovered this and this, because it's really effective to have like a group of people or at least a partner that you can talk to and communicate about the things that you learn. And it is a lot, and it is intense, and it is really, really helpful. It has definitely helped me on this journey. I can't imagine what I would have felt if I did a reading like this 6 months ago, and I'd be crying through the whole thing, like, oh, he is my divine masculine, this is gonna break up with me or whatever. And I'm just like, I have to break up with the divine masculine. Like, that's what I'm looking at, being like, I had to take action and be like, hey, I can't talk to you anymore. Sorry about it. You can try again later when you're able to communicate. But until then, like, smell you later, bro. Right? So if you're interested in that and you want to know more about it, check out howtobemagnetic.com. Lacey Phillips also has an expanded podcast that's completely free. You can listen to her guests talk about their experiences. It starts to make more and more sense as you start to work on some of the modules too, because they talk about different processes that she uses. So cool stuff, very helpful. I do recommend working with a therapist or working with some kind of a program or modality that can help you deal with the balancing, because we come and we look at what we need to balance, but you might need more help in figuring out exactly how to apply that and what to do. It's one thing to discover you have a blockage. Oh, I'm blocked. I feel powerless and I don't want to put down this burden of this one specific person. It's another thing to know how the fuck to do that. So there's that. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good day today, despite some difficult energies that might be up. And just know that this is expanding you and it is making you better. It's making you way, way better. Believe me. Trust me. I know. Have a good one.